All I need is my chick to help me count this money, reinvest and make us rich. And Q ain't in no clique, I just hustle by my loan. But if my ex is doubting, they just miss me cause I'm gone. This Perry Ellis clone. But if my ex is doubting, they just miss me cause I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Kind of does that work for you. So, all right, we're rolling, man. So everybody, welcome. Another episode of the podcast. This is episode 6. And I have a very interesting guest today. Can I call you Q? Is that cool?
Yeah, definitely, man.
All right, word. So on Twitter, he goes by it's Q, AQ, but I like to call him Q. And he's impressive. So Q, the way I know about you, and that's the thing is I don't know you very well at all. And that's going to be my goal is to get to know you a little bit better, get the viewers to know you a little bit better.
For sure.
I ran into you the first time it was a little show that Kerrigan put together in Austin at that art place. Yeah, you were there.
I remember
and the second time I ran into you was at the porch in San Marcos on the Square.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
And all I knew every time I see you was you were the flyest dressed dude in the room. It was no question. It was like no one else should even try.
I appreciate that.
So that's actually one of the first things I really want to know about you is why are you so passionate about your style?
Man, it's kind of a long story, man. But it depends how deep you're trying to get to know me.
You say whatever you want to say, man.
Yeah, for real. Well, like it started like back in middle school and like high school, man. Really in high school, I went to this school called Booker T. In Houston, Texas, in Studewood. And back then, you know, when I was in high school, everybody was wearing like, you know, the new J's. Back then, like clear Air Force Ones were in style and shit. Can I cuss?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's about freedom, you know?
Okay, cool. Oh, okay, I like that. Yeah, the clear Air Force Ones were in style and shit. And yeah, man, I didn't really have any style back then. I used to get teased a lot because I like my household I came from, we didn't have like money like that to just be affording Jordans or anything. But like the way I was always a creative person, like mentally. So eventually, after getting teased so much, man, I remember I went to my mom and I was like, man, I have a closet full of like church clothes, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I could do something with these church clothes. I can't get Jordans, but I have nice clothes. So one day, man, I just kind of started piecing different like church outfits together, man. And back then, I mean, it was fly. I mean, now looking back at it, it may have not been. But yeah, back then it was fly. And then from there, man, I mean, it stopped going from just, you know, from a bullying aspect to more of a man, I just like style. Honestly, like people say you can dress to impress. I just dress to express, man. Like I like creativity. And so it's cool to just put different outfits together and see what I can get away with.
I feel that with you, actually. That's every time your outfit always expresses an energy to me. It's always man, like it's whether like maybe your collar is flaring in a certain way, like in the way that you go about, you know, maybe if you have some, I don't even know what the vocabulary is for it. So what is this some flower shit you got going on?
Oh yeah. The lapel flowers. Yeah.
There you go. Lapel flowers. Okay. All right. So that's interesting, man. So I really like that. And I really love it when people give me like philosophical answers. Like you're doing it because you're doing it for a very cool reason, as opposed to like necessarily get ahead. You know, you're not doing it to like look the part as a rapper. You're doing it to be expressive and like it's a part of you. You know, it's like a part of who Q is.
I hear a lot of like a lot of my artist friends. Some of them will be like, man, maybe we should start dressing like you to, you know, start getting attention or doing this or doing that. And I'm just like, man, honestly, if you did dress like me, it wouldn't look right. Like, because it's not you. You know, you always your style should always reflect your personality, man. You know, your mental state. So I mean, if someone wants to dress up or if someone wants to be dressed down per se, then by all means. Like recently, man, I've been in a really like since this year started with everything going on, I've been in a real like dress down type of mood. That's just where my personality is at right now. But yeah, man, your style should definitely express your character, your personality.
Well, and for people who don't know you well, this is really dressed down for you, like you right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just in a regular button shirt. Yeah, man. Usually I have fur on and everything, but I'm chilling today, man. I'm chilling.
Yeah, and you still got the hat on. You still got the cross hanging from the ear. Like,
Little
it's
subtle stuff. Yeah.
casual. It's casual,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So, have you gotten any negative flack from being so damn fly?
Ah, man. My grandparents, my grandma growing up, she didn't like it she didn't like it at all, man. It was kind of like being a black sheep of the family. And then, you have some people that are just like, why are you like, they'll question like my sexuality or something, and they'll be like, why do you wear like long dangling earrings, or why do you wear these furs, why do you wear these skinny jeans, and or I have heels on my some of my shoes. And it's just like, man, one of my biggest influences was Prince. Because Prince from back in the day, like, he really expressed himself with how he dressed. And it's like, there's no particular way someone should dress. However you want to express yourself, you can, man. So I mean, if I get flack for it, it's like, okay, cool, but you can't tell me how to be me.
Hmm. So, I actually tell people about you a lot more than you think.
Oh, I
So I
appreciate
was
that.
at Voice. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, and I wouldn't if I had no reason to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But when I show someone like Krillin, bro, Krillin's my favorite music video from you.
Hey, okay.
And we're gonna get into it. But
Mhm,
so I was at voice lessons literally right before this interview, and
mhm,
my voice teacher is big cuddly gay black dude, right? Love this guy.
mhm,
And I was showing him Krillin,
mhm,
and I know you know how fly you look in that video.
mhm,
And he sits there and he's watching you, and he's a big musician guy, so he can speak that language. And he goes, wow, he goes, he's in touch with like all of his energies, but
mhm.
you very much know what he's saying and who he is. And he was complimenting you on kind of like what you were saying there, like he knew exactly where you were coming from without needing to question stupid silly things like that.
Mhm.
And I
That's
think
dope.
that's cool. But I think that's because you stick to being you, and you're very aggressive about making sure that you stay you.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, that's really the best way to come off as an artist, man. Being you. A lot of people want to, imitate what they see on like TV, or what they hear on the radio, what they see in like movies and everything. But if you imitate something, I feel like people, gather that type of energy, subconsciously. And so when you're yourself, people also gather that subconsciously, and they're like, okay, and it also influences other people to be themselves. So.
No doubt. That's what I like what you bring to the shows, bro. When I've seen you when you're in the lineup,
Mhm.
and you stick out like the prettiest sore thumb I've ever seen. And you do. But it like at the same time you fit into the show, and it's like because you're being you, it adds to the show's flavor, and it makes the overall show great, because you didn't try to like, be in somebody else's lane.
Mhm. Yeah, man, definitely, definitely. I appreciate you for noticing that, man.
Absolutely. Well, and that's why I wanted to get to know you, bro.
Hmm.
Because I just keep peeping you, and I got tired of not knowing you, honestly.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's the best way. You're bridging the gap.
Absolutely. And I respect you because when I reached out to you, and I'm not talking mess about anybody who I've reached out to, not at all, because I know people are in today's age, like someone hits you up to do an interview, and especially if they're doing what we're trying to do, which is, get big and make a difference, and, do all that good stuff,
Hmm.
you got to be careful about what you're doing nowadays. So I respect people taking their time and be reluctant, but at the same time, I have respect for people like you who I hit you up one time and you were like, let's get it done.
Yeah,
I had to
man.
I had to reschedule on you,
Nah,
and
yeah,
we're
you're
still here.
good. You're good, man. I'm good at picking up on good vibes, man. So I always thought you had good vibes, man. And even if I only ran into you twice, and I mean I see you on social media, it's just I can pick up on things like that. And so I was like, okay, let's do it, man. Let me see what it's about. So I appreciate you for reaching out to me.
Absolutely. I think the moment came at the right time.
Yeah, definitely, 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 for sure, brother.
So
Hmm.
I want to know about your music, because literally, bro, you retweeted something the other day about someone had kind of shouted you out about like a video you did. You were young. You were like in high school, and you
Yeah,
had those two dudes. You're probably your
yeah, yeah,
homies walking with you. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um,
That's the making
and
moves.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I saw that, and I love seeing stuff like that because I became an artist. So I'm 24. I
Hmm.
became an artist, really, really got serious about it 4 or 5 years ago. And
Hmm.
so when I see someone because bro, in high school, you wouldn't catch me trying to stand out.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
wouldn't catch me posting a video. I was trying to be in the crowd. I was trying to, if not necessarily trying to be popular, but I wasn't trying to be unpopular either. So I think it takes a lot of bravery to do that as a young cat, like out in high school, where everyone's opinion seems so important. So talk to me about all that, man. Talk to me about your inspiration behind music. What got you into it? And,
Yeah.
maybe speak on a little bit of your bravery behind doing that at such a young age.
Yeah, man. None of my parents are like musicians, but man, shout out to them because they put me on a lot of music that I grew up with and that motivated me, man. My dad in particular, he put me on a lot of Michael Jackson, man. And if you know Michael Jackson, like dude was like all kinds of creative, man, from the music videos he was doing to the fashion he was doing to the songs he was doing. So that was definitely a big inspiration for me growing up. And my dad, he always had a musical ear from people like Prince, Michael Jackson, Sade. Like he listened to all that and exposed me at a young age. So with music, man, I actually started doing music because I wanted to write like stories. And so like I would have video games like this game I used to play back in the day, like in like middle school called Def Jam Vendetta. Or Def Jam Fight for New York. I don't know if you remember those games. They're like really back in the day. Yeah. So like they were like it was a fighting game. And so I would take the storyline to that and I would kind of like make a sequel to it. And so with that, I started doing that in like 6th grade. And then I also had a knack for just like freestyling all the time. Like it wasn't nothing serious. I wasn't taking music serious. I would just freestyle all this time and record it on my laptop. And so eventually I was like, well, I got these stories. How about I make like songs to these stories? And then what got me into music videos, I was like, well, how about I make videos to these stories too? And just kind of make everything come full circle. And so I started rapping in like 8th grade because back then it was really popular. Like everybody in school was rapping. Like everybody had like the notepad, and what we would do is just like go around rapping our bars on our notepad to each other and like kind of battle each other. And then so from there, I just kind of grew with it. And then the video you saw, I was I think a senior in high school. I was like 17, and at that point, I wanted to take music serious. That was my first song. And so I went to the studio, recorded it, like a professional studio, recorded it. And then I had an idea of how I wanted to do the video, and I wanted to put on as many people as possible. So I got like 3 or 4 different Houston artists on it. And we just hit the ground running with it.
So it sounds like the whole time it's been about the creation for you.
Yeah, man. Creativity. That's always the foundation right there. Creativity and writing, man.
Because you know why I started doing music videos?
You said why?
Yeah.
How come?
You can't be a musician without them.
Of course. Exactly, man. Exactly.
Like you can't really make it without them. So like I started wanting, and of course, like later on, I was like, well, if I'm gonna do the music videos, then I might as well like make them mine. And make them my own creation. They're gonna come out better that way anyway. Like I started studying Wiz Khalifa. Apparently he directs like almost all his music videos.
Exactly, man.
Like, okay, A$AP Rocky, another great example. So I can vibe with that, but I love how like from the jump, it's been about creation and for you. I think that's really cool.
It's kind of like how you said with the fashion. It's like, with fashion, like I said, you can express yourself any type of way. And so to reflect your personality, reflect your character. And I feel the same way about music videos. That's like an extension of that. Like that's just an extension of your personality, your character. And so you can get that point across, and you can touch fans in a different way, a visual way. And so yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about Girls Who Only Have Fans. What's that song called from Paradise Palace?
The Play Palace.
Play Palace.
Yeah.
Play
Only
Palace.
Got Fans.
Only Got Fans. I was blanking on the name. I was just listening to it before this podcast. So
yeah.
I think I hear what you're saying. Like I know what you're talking about. But what are you saying?
I'm saying a lot of different things in that song. I have a habit of like kind of like Krillin. I like making songs where I'm like rapping all the way through it, and then at the very end I'll like do a chorus. With that song, it was inspired because at the beginning of this year for New Year's, actually, I had went to New Orleans with a couple of my homegirls. And like that was such a dope experience, bro. Like, because they're pretty ass girls. And so that's why in the song I was like, I got pretty girls in my gang, little bitch. Yeah, man. Because I was with like 3 pretty ass girls in New Orleans, man. We're on Bourbon Street, drunk as hell, and we're just vibing, having a good time. It was just like kind of like freedom, man, to step away from everything that's going on, and just living life. And so with that song, I had kind of, when I got back into town, I was just kind of reflecting on music, and because music is like, I always go by like chapters in my life. And so I was just like, what chapter am I in my life? I just came from New Orleans, and so I was just writing, yeah, man, pretty much the chapter I'm in currently in life. And there was a couple things I just touched on. It's a very like simple song, but I like it. It's one of my favorite songs.
Well, also in that EP, you talked about how you're not really planning on releasing music, like new music, anytime soon. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, you really listen, man.
Oh yeah, man. Trust me. Yeah, I'm watching you, bro. I'm peeping game.
I appreciate that.
So what's up with that? So why is that?
Man. So in the skit, I keep everything with my music. I keep everything, I don't want to say superficial, but like lighthearted in a way. But they do have like true meanings to them. So in that skit I am currently kind of not necessarily stepping away from music. I always make music. That's my baby right there. But actually I have other endeavors that I'm doing. I actually I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I just started a publishing company. And so with that publishing company, and it's not necessarily tied to music. I'm gonna start releasing actual like books down the line. So that, that takes a portion of my time. And then, like I said, with music, that's my first love. So I'm gonna always make everything come back full circle. But at that current moment when I was recording that, I wasn't making music. I was in the plotting stages of that. Now I'm in a different phase of life. And so yeah, I'm back to making music. I have more music on the way. So
there it is. Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right. Yeah, well, because when I heard that, I was like, well, that's so, because I've definitely been in phases like that too, where it's, bro, life gets busy. And because we're not just artists, like to be an artist, you're an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs get bored. But we also,
exactly,
and we also don't need to be confined to one financial lane. I have respect for people who dive into one lane and they're like, I'm going to go put all my eggs in this basket. But I don't think you need to at all.
Nah, man. I mean, that's kind of like placing yourself in a box, man. You have years of life to live, hopefully. And, it's just always good to, if you have a knack to want to do something else, you might as well try it. Why not? Even if you're not good at it. It's like with me, I wasn't always good at rapping or anything like that, but after years of experience, I would think I'm good. I got better. And then it's the same thing with other things, man. You try something out, and if you keep at it, you'll get good at it. And so it's always cool to tap into other creative mediums, man. That's the best way to just empower your craft.
Well, and like, yeah, absolutely. Because, well, hang on. Actually, what I want to ask you about is, let's get into Sin City Freestyle.
Man, you really did your research. Okay.
Bro, I'm telling you, that video is dang, dude.
It's my most slept on video too, man.
Really?
Yeah, I think that one has like the lowest views, man. Like,
bro,
like a lot of my videos, like some of my videos have like 16, 17K. That one only has like, I think like 1,000 views.
Okay, so let me guess. You're talking to yourself a lot in that song.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely.
And you're arguing with yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, the whole premise of that was pretty much just like just battling with my demons, your inner demons, and then with that, your biggest demon is yourself. At times, you get in your own way. So yeah, definitely, that's what it's about. It's pretty introspective in a way.
Yeah, it sounds like at times I heard the voice of reason coming in, right? And I felt like the voice of reason was getting frustrated.
Yeah,
and it gets frustrating to tell yourself to shut up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's something that's hard to do.
it's because I'm a Libra, and so I'm always trying to like Libras are all about balance, and so it's
Libra
like
scale.
almost like yeah, exactly. It's like balancing the goods or balancing the evils. And so sometimes depending on where you're at in life, you go towards one way or you go toward the other way. And so that's what the video is about, man. It's like you have your angel on your shoulder and you have the devil on your shoulder, and it's just like, okay, should I go this way because I get more reactions doing this, or should I go this way because I get more reactions from doing this? And so yeah, it's a battle of all that.
And that's the red and blue in it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
See, man. And people who aren't artists I feel bad sometimes because they can't pick up on stuff like that. And maybe they do, just not in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it red and blue? Like, not your video. Like, why is it always red and blue? It's always Bloods and Crips. It's always Republicans and Democrats. It's always fire and water.
I think because those are the most like primary colors as far as prominence. And so they contrast a lot. But they're, when let's say I'm wearing because I do the same thing. I have like an all blue suit and I have an all red suit.
I've seen them.
Yeah. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's just like, when you go out, if I go out in the all blue suit, people are gonna, pay attention. But blue is kind of subconsciously symbolic to like purity, whereas red is more symbolic towards like power. And then another color that I threw in the video was black and white, almost like a Masonic like checkerboard type of deal. Because black and white also resembles balance.
Okay.
Those are two colors that are always contrasted, black and white, or red and blue. They're always contrasted against each other. And so, but yeah, they're pretty prominent colors. And so I guess they stand out a lot to people. I don't know why, but in our society, we always pit those colors together.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I seen you in that red suit, you were saying something different than when I seen you in the blue suit. No doubt.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Mm-hmm. So what gets you out of bed in the morning?
What gets me out of bed in the morning? I hate getting out of bed in the morning, man.
I do too. I hate mornings. I hate mornings, bro.
I wish I could sleep in, man. Really, since we've been on quarantine or whatever, I really been sleeping in a lot. But what gets me out of bed in the morning, man, if not like grinding, then just like sometimes I'll be in the bed. I'm just like, man. One of the biggest things I hate is like kind of like routine. It's like, let me see how I can start my day differently, to where even like I'll get meticulous with it, even if it's just like waking up at a certain time, like setting my alarm to a different time. It's like, let's see how I can change up my day to where every day doesn't, feel the same. And so, it's kind of motivating in a way, man. Because every day is different. Every day brings something new.
It sounds like you've learned to be comfortable with change.
Yeah, or at least that's something I'm learning and currently in this period that we're in.
Mm-hmm. Well, change is difficult, man. They're called growing pains for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
A metaphor that I like to draw a lot with it is when you are looking at water before water turns into ice, if you're looking at it from an analytic standpoint, and let's say you're expending energy to cool the ice down. Mm-hmm. In a way, you're subtracting energy because energy is heat, but if you're cooling it down externally, then you're expending energy that way, right? So you have to pump more energy, and maybe from your perspective, the graph goes up, and then it's weird. The graph will like level off. Mm-hmm. Even though you're still pumping energy into it, it does this weird thing where the graph levels off and then it starts going up again. But there's in that plateau is when the molecules start shaping around and things start changing. And if ice had nerves, this would be a very painful process for the water.
That's true.
And at the same time, that's what's happening in actual growing pains with our knees. Like change is hard. And when people get comfortable being comfortable, change is even harder.
Exactly.
But when you get comfortable being uncomfortable, all of a sudden change is easy.
That's true. And I feel like, as people, we have to learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable, man. Get comfortable in those awkward spaces. That's the only way to excel, especially as an artist or a creative, man. You got to get out of your comfort zone. If not, you can stagnate yourself, and that can be pretty detrimental to your growth.
Mm-hmm. So what are your overall goals as far as, music and this publishing company you got going on?
Yeah.
What is Q trying to accomplish at the end of the day?
Man, from a very from the foundation of it, aside from just like music or anything creative I do, man, I just really want to help empower people to realize their value, realize their worth, and realize that they can do whatever they put their minds to, man. You can be whatever the fuck you want to be in life. It doesn't matter what you want to be. If you dream of it, you can make it happen, man, one way or another. And so with me doing everything that I want to do, man, I hope to motivate others to follow their dreams, follow their goals. And so that's just my main mission. But as far as me personally, man, I do, like, I have a passion for writing, that goes into the music videos, writing goes into the music, writing goes into the books I want to publish. And so my goal is to make everything come full circle, man. I have some great ideas that I'm gonna kind of flesh out with this company. And so the company from a legal aspect is going to help me just keep everything in house, and yeah, man, grow from there, from where I can make film, books, and music just come together, and really make a hub for that.
Do you want to write a book?
Yeah, that was the plan of me starting the company, man. That's initially how it started, and so I want to write more than one book.
Yeah.
In particular, yeah, and so I have some ideas for that. I don't want to speak on them. I don't like speaking on ideas before I execute them, or until they're finished. But I definitely have like some ideas that I'm gonna be putting out really soon. Actually, you should see it on the timeline. I'm pretty wrapped up with most of the things I have creatively right now. So there's a lot of things they're going to be coming in the coming months. But yeah, definitely want to do books.
What do you want to write about? What are you writing about?
So you're the first person to ask me. You're the first person I've got to interview with post announcing this company. So really my main focus right now is comic books, man. I'm a big comic book head.
What?
Yeah, man. So I definitely not necessarily not books about me. Because I'm pretty sure people, when I did the publishing company, people were like, oh, he's gonna make comic books about his
I'd
brand,
love to see you as a superhero.
Maybe one day. But I want to do just kind of step out the music realm and just actually do comic books about some of the ideas I have, and I may establish myself as a character later down the line. But yeah, I definitely want to do comic books and then kind of expand on that. With incorporating music to tie in with that, or incorporating film to tie in with that, and that's what I mean by just kind of creating a hub and then building upon that to create more of like a franchise per se.
So what about the A-Team?
The A-Team, that's the A-Team. That's a podcast I used to do, or like a video show I used to do, and the A-Team kind of started back when I was in college, man. I used to call like my supporters the A-Team. Or I didn't even make up that term. Some friends of mine did. They're like, man, we've always been a part of the A-Team or whatever, and I kind of just took that and rocked with it, and then kind of evolved that into I don't know if you ever seen the little podcast show I've done.
I watched quickly one of them with Lona.
Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, with the A-Team, I did that too. Of course, I want, kind of like you, I wanted to get to know different artists and creators, and then I also wanted to try my hand in making a show, like the whole screenwriting aspect, and putting everything together, because I with the assistance of my boy Trent. We kind of just directed that whole thing, and wrote the whole the script to it, and got the artist and put everything together. And so I was like, if I can do this, I know I can do a movie, or I know I could do a show later down the line. So that was kind of just me getting my feet wet.
How did you guys have like boom mics for that?
Yeah, we had boom mics, and then I had a mic also connected to my ear and to my phone, and we just rocked with that. And then with the cameras, we had like a two camera tripod setup.
Because dude, it's professional. Like I watched it and I was like, oh, this Zoom meeting not about to be like that.
Nah. It's all good. Yeah, it was cool for the moment, but things like that, it's just like you have to. It's like it can get expensive because you have to like order different equipment and everything, and so the Zoom meetings might be more efficient, man, because
They
doing
save a
that
lot
can
of
get
money.
tedious. Yeah, exactly. Doing something like that can get tedious.
And it works well with the coronavirus and all that
Exactly.
happening. Right now the name of the game is kind of
Hmm.
mobilizing.
Yeah.
So, Q, I'm thoroughly impressed, bro. For real.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. This was a dope interview.
Thank you, man. I wanted to. That's what I told you at the beginning. I wanted to get to know you because
Hmm.
really, I have been watching, man, and I've been peeping game, and I see that you know how to make noise.
I
And
appreciate
we got about 9 minutes left. That's one of the questions I want to ask you.
it. Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm asking you for some advice right now.
Yeah.
How are you making the noise that you're making? How are you doing that?
Ah, man, doing right by people. Honestly, man.
Okay.
Yeah, just do right by people, man. I know there's a lot of artists that want to come off as like prima donnas or want to come off as being Hollywood or larger than life, and that's cool, man. You want your brand to be held on a pedestal, but you never want to shut out the people that have been supporting you since day one, man. And a lot of people that I support, like how you said, you ran into me at Kerrigan's show, and then you again ran to me at was it Shade? You said, or the Porch?
Yeah. The
Um,
porch.
yeah, the Porch. And it's just like creating those vibes with people. And there's been people I've been creating those vibes with since the beginning of time, since I was like in middle school and high school, man. And you never know, who will become what down later down the line. Like back when I met you when you were doing the Porch, I didn't know you were going to do a podcast. And so, yeah, just doing right by people, man. That's the best way to, start making some noise because those people will always ride for you, bro. And they'll push your platform way further than you think you can yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that. I think you're very approachable, bro. I think the fact that you responded to me on Twitter when I started commenting on your stuff.
Yeah, man, because we need more things like this in the culture, man. We need more podcasts. We need more writers, more like, people doing the right thing and, trying to push the
Mm.
culture forward instead of just kind of, leeching off of it.
Yeah, yeah. And man, so action speaks so loudly to me.
Hmm.
And so when we start having our little commenting back and forth on each other's Twitter,
Hmm.
there's a sense that you and I both understand that like we both know we're artists in the game,
Hmm.
and the only way that this is gonna work is if we push for each other. And it's
Exactly.
the little things, right?
Hmm.
It's the
Hmm.
little things. And man, I want to tell a funny story. One of the funniest conversations you and I've ever had on Twitter was you said something about Geminis. And
Are you a Gemini?
I am.
I
And
fuck with Geminis, man.
when Libras typically do, and we
Yeah.
typically fuck with y'all. We
Yeah.
like Libras.
Hmm.
And I said, yeah, you should try being one.
Hmm.
And you commented back and said, yeah, y'all are misunderstood to say the least. And
Yeah, man,
that
it's
is
like
the
a
word.
double-edged sword.
That's the word is misunderstood. And I like what you said about Libras and how they try to find the balance in things. And I think that's something that Geminis can learn from Libras and that's something that my dad brought up to me a long time ago, actually, a few years ago, was about finding balance. And, the Geminis often get accused of being two-faced or two-sided and things like that. And that's actually not what we're about. It's actually, we just prefer not to be by ourselves. And we prefer not to have big groups of people. We prefer to have
Yeah,
one person that we partner up with in whatever venture we're doing, whether that's a romantic thing, whether that's a business thing
I
or
feel
whatever,
you. 100%,
you
I
know?
feel you. Same way.
Absolutely. So, and something that I've been finding more and more is when I can find the balance within myself and I can bring my energy down a little bit because I'm being aggressive towards somebody who doesn't understand me kind of thing. Because it's not about me, right? And I feel that from you, bro. I feel like a lot of your messages, it's not necessarily about me. It's about the people receiving the message.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. And that's something I actually had to learn later in life. Like I'm still learning that now. It you don't because if you come off too self-centered, man, it can scare people away, even if you mean well. And so you never want to do that, man. You gotta kind of put yourself in other people's shoes. And like you said, you can come off aggressive to someone, but then you also have to put in your head like, okay, well, if I was in that other person's shoes and they're coming at me like this, you gotta, kind of take it from there. And you just gotta kind of, life is all about balance, man. It's just like, without good, you can't have evil. Without evil, you can't have good. And so, yeah.
Otherwise, you don't know the difference.
Yeah, man. And so that's why we can relate to Gemini so much, because y'all are a double-edged sword, and we bring the balance to. And with me, I'm like, sometimes I'm lost in how to balance. It's like, okay, should I go this way or go this way? And I think y'all, help that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're drivers.
Exactly.
We're drivers. We're driving forces, man. And that's what we need. That's where we lack balances. We don't have brakes sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just going 90 miles per hour, man, on
all
the
time. All the time. Yeah, and so that's what I've learned is to apply the brakes at certain times. Well, first of all, I had to find some brakes. I had to install them. You know what I'm saying? I had to install some brakes first of all.
I feel you.
And then I needed to learn how to use them. Absolutely. Well, Q, bro, I'm so glad we did this, man. Because I knew it was going to be dope, and you delivered, and it was even better than I thought it was going to be. So I really appreciate that. I hear you're doing some more music lately, and I would love to collab with you sometime.
Yeah, definitely, man. Let me know. And then when I do release my new music, man, just keep on a lookout for it.
Absolutely. What was the last thing I wanted to say? I'm moving to Dallas in 2 days.
I remember you told me that.
How close are you? Well, let me not ask that. How hard is it for you to be in Dallas?
Dude, like right now in life, minus the coronavirus, but like right now, man, I was just in a phase. I was like, man, I really want to travel. And so, Dallas is actually one of the places in Texas I've been to the least. I've only been to Dallas maybe a couple of times.
Bro, you look like you fit right into Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
I've only been a couple of times, man. And so I definitely want to get out there. Even if it's not just for a show or anything, I just want to get out there, and take in the community, take in the culture. And so it's nothing. I can book an Airbnb and head out there.
All right, we're gonna set it up, man, because I'm gonna have a studio everywhere I go. As you can see behind me, it's here. I'm taking all this with me. And I want to get you in the studio, but I also want to just get to know you better. I'd like to connect with you more often. So does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good to me, brother.
Cool. Q, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for doing this with me. And for the viewers, we're going to leave links to everything in the description. The music videos we talked about, Q's information, my information. If we talked about it, it's going to be in the description. So keep a lookout for that. Hey, it's Q.
Hey, already.
All right, thanks, brother.
But I be chillin', flying, I'm ballin' like Krillin. We made a move on the block. We had a ring with the Rock. Mr. McMahon, I got a roster who pop. Look what I got. Skinny and thuggin', I could've been Pac. Polo my socks, rolling my watch. Hollin' my fur like I'm cold with the snot. Hey, hit the lobby with a classy mommy. See the paparazzi on the flows. Hood and sloppy when she kissin' Poppy. Gotta grab her ass like her clothes. Bloody on her toes. Hey, Sachi on her robe. Who is the man? Shit, tell him he owe me some land. I don't get high with no Zans. You must not know who I am. Q is the boss, skinny no Ross. I tell my pilot to land. Holla, real estate money. She let me penetrate money. Ayy, I was in San Marcos till I got renovate money. Buying a crib, got a new whip. You on the scene while I'm loading the clip. Click. Ayy, you off the scene like the darker on Viv. I'm up and live, she wanna live. Why would I trick off my heavenly gifts? Money come fast like I'm driving a lift. Running more towns than that Gladys and Pips. Pussy get wetter when niggas got drip. Push on the bird like I'm rapping with clips. I gotta close, I shouldn't talk to you hoes, ayy. I wanna live in the mall. Yeah. I wanna ball till I fall. Ay. She wanna live in the mall. Ooh. I wanna ball till I fall. Yeah. She wanna live in the what? I wanna ball till I fall. Ay. I wanna live in the mall. Ay. She wanna ball till we hold up. Like I'm Krillin. Yeah. Flying, I'm ballin' like Krillin. Wow. Like I'm Krillin. Yeah. Flying, I'm ballin' like Krillin. Yeah. Like I'm Krillin. Ay. Flying, I'm ballin' like Krillin. Wow. Like I'm Krillin. Yeah. Flying, I'm ballin' like Krillin. Hold up. Yeah. Yeah. You know how this go, baby. We gon' rock this out. Yeah. Hold up. All right.